Hey, it's Coach Jamila, and today I am talking about a topic that I've discussed before, but I wanted to talk about a few more specific things about it that may help you get some understanding as to why it is such a struggle for you as a strong woman to be vulnerable. So the first reason is oftentimes as strong women, we don't want to be viewed as weak. And the reason for that is because at some point in our past, being vulnerable or in a position or condition to where we were not able to protect ourselves led to us experiencing some harm, whether it was emotional, physical, abuse, whatever. Being in a state of vulnerability, that means not being able to protect ourselves or do anything about the situation, had a very negative outcome and impact on us. And so we don't feel safe opening up. And we don't feel safe allowing the woman we really are deep inside to come out and show herself. And so instead, we wear this constant armor of who we feel we needed to become and be in order to survive. And this is the person that everybody relies on, that everybody looks to, that's winning and succeeding at work, as an entrepreneur, doing well professionally, financially, but personally, not so much, okay? And that's because when you wear this armor and this facade, it makes it very difficult to connect with people on a deep level. And it becomes tiring and taxing to always having to be someone that you're really not. It takes a lot more effort, okay? But this is why you are this way and why you're doing it and why the idea of being vulnerable is so unattractive and really scary. It invokes fear in you because it means that something bad could possibly or potentially happen to you. Essentially, you could get hurt. Now, the second reason why strong women tend to struggle with vulnerability is because we put ourselves last. Like I mentioned, when you are the one that everybody leans on and looks to, you're that pillar, you're that rock, you're that support, you're thinking and doing for everybody else, even in your business or in your position at work. You're thinking about your team members, taking care of them, making them feel special. You know, all of that, really showing up for others the way you would love for people to show up for you, okay? But when you are constantly focusing on everyone else and others, which on the one hand, that's good to be a generous, giving, caring, thoughtful person, but you do it to almost distract yourself from yourself. Because if you're so focused on everybody else, then you're never really focused on your own needs and you're never really making yourself a priority. And again, if we trace back those roots, I bet you if you think about it, one, if not both of your parents, perhaps maybe did not make you, when you were a little girl, feel like you were a priority, like you were valuable, important, or even lovable, okay? So those feelings don't go away. They stay with you and they actually become a part of the language that you speak to yourself in your head on a subconscious level, okay? That lets you know that, hey, no, you don't matter. You're not important. You're not a priority. And so that means that you're not even a priority for you, okay? So when you put yourself last, there's no time, room for you to be vulnerable and focus on your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions and needs, okay? Now, the last reason, at least that I'm going to discuss in this video, of course, this isn't all inclusive, but is fear. You're not just, I talked about fear a little bit, about fear of being hurt, but more fear around facing that painful past that you know is the source of so many of the struggles that you had in your life, specifically in relationships, romantic relationships with men. That's really when a lot of our stuff shows up, is when we get married or when we get involved in a long-term relationship with a man. All of this stuff from childhood, from being a little girl that, went through all these things, it shows up and it makes that relationship a struggle, or we can't even get to that point to where we're able to find someone that we would want to marry because we're just going from one bad toxic relationship after another. And so all of that is linked to the past. And so part of that struggle with vulnerability is a fear that if you somehow face that painful past, you won't be able to live through it. You won't be able to survive it, because the idea that you would somehow have to relive it, that you would have to go back to those places and feel that pain again, it terrifies you, because you feel like, I already lived through it once. I already survived it once. I can't do that again. But here's what I need you to understand. All of that pain, all of that trauma, all of that hurt is still inside of your body. It is still driving the choices, decisions, and struggles that you are experiencing right now in this present day. And it will never go away just simply with the passage of time. And you can read as many books as you want to. You can watch as many YouTube videos as you want to. You can do every free workshop there is to do. But honey, if you do not stop, make time for yourself, and face all of that stuff inside and get it out, it's going to continue to haunt you and affect your life right now and on into the future. It does not go away automatically. No, it just sits there and it's always present. It's never really in the past. I mean, that's when it happened, but its effects are in your everyday life right now in the present. So for me, when I'm working with my clients, this is where we go. We go back to the beginnings, the origins, because I don't deal in symptoms, okay? I deal with the problem. What's the source? We're going to get to the bottom of it, because if we nip that in the bud, all this other stuff goes away, okay? We're not going to sit in here and talk about all these symptoms. No, we're going right down to the beginning, and we start with the relationship with your father, how you experienced either his absence or his presence. Then we work through the relationship with your mother and how you experienced either her absence or her presence, how that affected how you see yourself, how you think about yourself, your beliefs, how you view men and relationships, etc. Because this is where your patterns started, okay? And what's interesting is whether or not one or both of your parents was missing or not present in your life, it still impacted you. It still affected you, okay? Now, once we work through the relationship with your parents, now we're going to go and get into these hurts from these relationships. It could be a divorce. You maybe are divorced and you still got a lot of bitterness and anger towards your ex, or you were with someone for many, many years. That stuff's got to come up and get out too, okay? And we do that very pragmatically by, I create the space and allowing you to really think about it and bring it up and acknowledge it, okay? And by doing that, we're able to get it up and out so you can move on and be free of it. See, every time you think about something right now that you know is a problem from your past, you can go there right now, just like it happened yesterday. You feel that emotion coming up right there? You feel that? You just pushed it back down. You just pushed it back down. You say, I'm not going to do this today. I'm not going to sit up here and cry, because maybe you're watching this video in a waiting room and you don't want the people next to you to think you're crazy. Whatever it is, you just pushed it back down. That is a habit that so many of us have. And it is my personal belief that we suffer because we continue to shove our feelings and emotions down instead of allowing them to come up and out, release them and then process and allowing ourselves to heal. It is the same thing as if you got stabbed in the arm and refused to remove the knife. You're going to be walking around bleeding. Your arm is really going to hurt. You're not going to be able to pay attention to anything else going around because you're constantly thinking about protecting this so that it doesn't get more hurt. So just like in your mind, you think about that, how foolish that would be for someone to do that. Like, why wouldn't they just take the knife out, clean it up, get the medicine, and allow themselves to heal and move on and be better? You get where I'm going? The same thing is true for you emotionally. All this stuff that you've been stabbed all over with, you walking around with all these knives and trying to act like they're not there, but your whole life shows that you've been doing nothing but trying to prevent and protect them from getting pushed in further or bumped or knocked around some way. You're bleeding all over everybody. Can't get close to nobody. Can't have a good relationship with a man. You're just constantly struggling personally. See, that's the catch here. You're doing real good professionally and in your business, and that's kind of what has tricked you into thinking that I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm great, I'm successful. But really, you're not. The beautiful side of what pain you went through is it did create some qualities in you that have given you a strength and a tenacity to move forward and persevere and overcome and to win and succeed. Yes, that's the good part. And we will not diminish that at all, because that is something you should be proud of. But the other side of it, your personal life, that's who you are. That's what you get up in the morning and you go to sleep at night and on the weekends and in the evenings, and when at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, no, you're not going to care about your job. You're not going to care about your business. It's the relationships that you have, the family you wanted, the light, the lack of dysfunction that you didn't want to see. You know, all of that is the stuff that actually matters. So how do you put a price tag on that? On happiness, feeling good in your own skin, not constantly having this dark cloud over you that causes you to put yourself last, never take an opportunity to really take care of yourself in the way that you deserve. And I'm not talking about manicures and pedicures and all this nonsense that's so exterior, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because I do believe in looking pretty, but that's exterior. That has nothing to do with who you are. And I say this with such emphasis and passion because I am tired of women suffering within themselves unnecessarily when the ability to heal is within their power to do so. You just simply have to make the choice and the decision that you're willing to do it. And yes, you will have to become vulnerable, but you just simply have to find the person who has the expertise, the strength that can hold you up through this process. This is what I do. I only work with strong women, one-on-one, with compassion, with no judgment, helping them go to these places that they don't want to go, and holding their hand and being there for them every step of the way. Because what I know is that as a strong woman, you don't have that. You have your ride or die friends, but the person that you have taken off the mantle, bared your soul, spilled your guts, and is going to help you clean it up, that's what I do. Okay? So these are just a few reasons as to why you may be struggling with being vulnerable. But this is also an opportunity for you to understand why this way of being is not going to serve you long term in your personal life and relationships. And if you want help with that, you are so welcome to send me a direct message on Instagram at Coach Jamila LV. Or you can book a free consultation. The link will be in the description for this video. And I also would invite you to join my free Facebook group for women executives and entrepreneurs. It's called High Powered Healing. All right. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And I look forward to seeing you here.